Ding dong, bing bong, yin yang, wishy-washy, trick or treat. I didn't know Halloween was invented thousands of years ago by a drunk Irishman just to be mean to little kids. Halloween just seemed so American. As a kid, I always thought it was started by the candy companies to sell more candy. As a teenager, I thought it was created by Charles Schultz. And up until recently, I thought it was invented by a few dentists back in the 1950s who thought it was a great way to drum up some business. Like most kids, two of my favorite holidays besides Christmas were Easter and Halloween. Halloween isn't a holiday, but it felt like it. Sure, Easter was fun, but the candy selection is not as varied and I don't get to put on my monster mask. Which led me to wondering if they celebrate Halloween in Poland. Because today's man of the moment, Roger Eldridge Sawyer, was born on Halloween, 1934 in Warsaw, Poland. What's that, Ed? What about New York? Warsaw, New York, not Poland. And you wait till now to tell me. So Roger is not from Poland, but an American-born New Yorker, which makes more sense. Me, I think being born on Halloween is way better than being born on Christmas, like Baltimore Orioles pitcher Charlie Beeman. A Halloween birthday party would be a blast with all the kids in costumes, loading up on cake and ice cream, and then heading out to trick or treat. It's only because Roger Sawyer was inducted into the Mount Morris High School Hall of Fame that he got a big write-up, which really helped me out with his story. He would attend the school from 1949 to 1952 and was a one-of-a-kind athlete all 4 years, excelling in the big three sports plus one other sport. Well, I guess it's a sport. It's more of a game than a sport, like bowling, darts, or golf. Roger Sawyer was a state champion when it came to playing ping-pong. What's that, Ed? That's a racist term. What are you talking about? That's what we called it growing up. Funny, I don't recall inviting friends over to play some table tennis, nor did we call our Halloween candy confectionery. Wow, 2 corrections and the show just started. I sure hope you were joking about ping-pong being racist. Good, because Hong Kong Phooey wasn't a racist cartoon either. How good was Roger Sawyer at ping-pong? He was the NCAA and New York State Section 5 table tennis champion 4 straight years. Not tennis, table tennis. NCAA stands for Livingston County Athletic Association. As for his time on the diamond, the young pitcher was 3-0 as a sophomore, winning the last game of the season that gave Mount Morris the title. Roger was 9-4 as a junior and 14-0 as a senior, throwing 3 no-hitters and leading the team to an undefeated record, winning both the NCAA and New York State Section 5 high school championships. Roger's second no-hitter came in the quarterfinal game when he struck out 18 batters and hit an RBI single in the 2-0 win. A week later in the finals, he threw another no-hitter in a 1-0 victory, striking out 16 batters and getting the team's only RBI. His 3 no-hitters in one season is still tied for second best in New York State history. There are no mentions of his achievements on the high school gridiron, which I am sure there were some, but Roger did lead his Mount Morris Blue Devils basketball team to the NCAA championship. So you can say Roger Sawyer was a standout athlete with a unique talent and could have gone in a few directions. He wasn't 5'3" in Chinese, so table tennis was out. He wasn't 6'8" in African, so basketball was out. The 6'1", 180-pound teenager chose baseball, probably for a couple of reasons, neither having to do with his race or heritage. If you had the choice of careers, what would you choose? To play ping pong for years or baseball? That's what I thought, baseball. Besides, he was so good at it, in high school anyway. More than one player has said, you think you're great in high school, then you get to college and everybody's good. Then in the lower minor leagues, the players are still better than college players. Each class of ball has better players until you get to the big leagues, and there's no comparison. Right after high school, The lefty pitcher was only 17 when he enrolled at Ohio State University in 1952, taking his ping-pong paddle with him to college, where the freshman was runner-up in the NCAA Big Ten table tennis championships. Who do you think he lost to? Of course it was a visiting Chinese student who just happened to be their champion and only attending the tournament that year as a guest. It's all about timing. And of all the billions of Chineses they could have sent, too bad for Roger, they sent their best player. But young Roger had his fingers in other pies, like signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But because he was still 17, his parents would have to sign for him. Almost all of his time in pro ball was with the Pittsburgh organization, and during that time, Roger Sawyer would play with a lot of Pittsburgh Pirates. He just didn't play with them in the major leagues. The teenager's career started in 1952 with the Brunswick Pirates, Class D, going 5-6, but did have the lowest ERA on the club. That was followed up with his best season of his short career. His first full season, 1953, pitching for the Hutchinson Elks Class C, where he led the Western Association League in wins with a record of 22-5. He led them in ERA with just under 2, led the league in shutouts with 9, and was tied for second in strikeouts with 200. In his 32 starts, Roger Sawyer threw 24 complete games and then named Rookie of the Year and MVP of the league. That performance got him promoted to Big State League, Class B for 1954, pitching for the Waco Pirates. So here's an example of how, as you move up each class of baseball, the players are noticeably better. Pitching for Waco, Roger went 14-6, but later that season, when bumped up to Class A, he was 1-6 with the Williamsport Grays. Big difference. He played on that Grays team with a 17-year-old rookie Bill Mazeroski. And even with a 1-6 pitching record, Pittsburgh promoted Roger to AA for 1955, where he pitched okay for the New Orleans Pelicans with a record of 11-13. His last season with double-digit wins and his only year with double-digit losses. Pittsburgh brought Roger up through their farm system slowly, unlike Baltimore Orioles and some of their pitchers. Roger continued his way up the Pirate system and started the 1956 in their AAA top affiliate Hollywood Stars, and was the second most used pitcher on that team, pitching in 44 games, starting 15 with a record of 6-4. Still with Hollywood for 1957, he pitched in 1 game and then was sent to the Columbus Jets, where he had 5 outings and was done for the year. He entered the Army in 1958, serving 6 months in the Honor Guard, and was the winning pitcher on the Army team that won the 1958 championship game. Once out of the Guard, he would wrap up his short pro baseball career in 1959 with 2 teams, the St. Louis Cardinals affiliate Tulsa Oilers and the Salt Lake City Bees. Another player out of the game at age 24 after only 7 seasons, playing on 9 teams, none in the majors, with a pro pitching record of 60-42. In 2018, Roger Sawyer was inducted into the New York State Section 5 Baseball Hall of Fame. The ceremony took place before the start of a Rochester Red Wings game at Frontier Field. Was Roger even there? I don't know. If not for his Mount Morris induction write-up, his show would have been really short. Mr. Sawyer will turn 91 on Halloween. Where does he live? Is he married? Does he have kids? Did he graduate from Ohio State? Does he travel the world playing ping-pong on the senior citizen circuit? I don't know. Today's show is a little different because it just happened to be about a ping-pong champion, and I liked that aspect of the story because we played a lot of ping-pong growing up. So, Ed, what's the verdict? Is Hong Kong, Phooey, and ping-pong racist terms or not? Ed said to use them at your own risk. So as you may or may not know, I usually try to end my shows in a positive, upbeat way. I don't know what to say about this ending, but over the past few years, I've had to question many things that I'd never thought I'd have to. For instance, in my mind, it has always been a no-brainer that males should not be allowed to participate in female sports. Why does that even need to be said? It's so obvious it's not even in the rule book. True, nobody cares about women's pro sports, but we all care about female youth sports from college on down, just wanting them to be fair for the girls. I blame those in charge who ignore basic science and allow exceptions to play with girls. And it's still happening. Why? Because, like all the angry and befuddled parents who have been trying to change things back to normalcy, they are ignored or shouted down, and in the end, they know it's a losing battle, and it's pointless. A waste of time trying to reason with entire groups of people who will tell you up is down and blue is green, with most parents finding it easier just to have their daughter pick a different sport if there is a boy on her team, which is bad enough for a little girl. But unfortunately for her, nowadays there's a little wiener in every girl's sport. Bottom line, no parent wants to see their daughter get pummeled by a dude. Pick a sport. What's that, Ed? Ping pong. Very funny, Ed.